Watem and welcome back to small Higurashi When They Cry. Let us continue. That was when a deep voice rang out, reverberating through the pit of their stomachs.
Oi! 人が親切に話してるのに聞いてねえのか?
It must have been coming from the same person, but it had changed so much so quickly.
この葛西達義がてめえらを生かしてやると言ってんだ。ありがてえとは思わねえのか、ガキどもが。お前ら、俺を舐めてんのか? ああ? 返事せんか、ガキどもが!
A roar and an explosion sounded at the same time. The upper half of the door had disappeared. Numerous lead balls bounced around in the room, breaking the lights and ricocheting off the walls. Shattered glass fell onto the floor. The shotgun had turned the security room into hell. The hurricane of lead balls blew violently through the room as it shattered, scattered, and destroyed everything. The guards could only cover their heads and pray. They prayed the lead balls wouldn't hit them, and endured with falling glass. Before they had a chance to recover, Kasai jumped in through what was left of the door and kicked the desk aside. He stepped onto one of the guards' heads and yelled at the others.
最初にミンチになりてえのは誰だ? てめえかこら! さっき上等決めやがったのはてめえかこら! 違う! 降伏する! 撃つな! 何いつまで茶化ひけらかしてんだこら! 殺されてえか青二歳! てめえとは築いてきた屍の山の高さが違うんじゃボケ!
Is that a confession he should be making in front of a policeman? They dropped their guns voluntarily and got on the floor with their hands on their heads. Even Shion couldn't believe what just happened. There were several of them, and all had been amply armed. Kasai had a weapon too, but it was his presence that defeated them. Even the mountain dogs couldn't equal what Kasai once had to go through. One of the guards got up in a hurry and switched the alarm off. Kasai stood there calm, but they were only seconds away from the gas releasing. Shion and Akasaka came to their senses and quickly moved into the room to help Kasai subdue the guards.
Kasai, anta.
こんな真似は二度としないつもりでしたが、緊急措置でした。忘れてください。
That was Kasai Shion knew. But in the end, Kasai hadn't killed anyone. Shion remembered Kasai telling her how horrifying shotguns were in the basement of the Sonozaki residence. That was Shotgun Tatsu, whom all the people in Shishibane were so afraid of.
急ぎましょう。どの道すでに警報は鳴らされています。長居はできません。そうですね。急ぎましょう。
Akasaka and Kasai pulled out the guards' handcuffs and restrained them.
Satoshi-kun, どこ?
Now that the security room was under their control, Shion realized there was nothing keeping her from seeing Satoshi. She was getting anxious. Irie had shown her the map. He must be down here, she thought. Shion had already started to run.
私も行ってきます。サトシ君と富武さんを助けないと。
すみません。頼みます。1、2、3、4、5。
I'm guessing he's counting how many guards are still there. Akasaka felt a chill running down his spine. I'm guessing it's either there's 5 people missing or that he only counted 5 when there's like 6 equipment lockers or something. Irie said there were 6 security guards. Okay. Shion wasn't paying attention to anything else. She was only thinking about her reunion with Satoshi. Well, I mean, to be fair, they're probably not guarding Satoshi, they're probably guarding Tomitake. So it should be fine? She still can't hear in her left ear. To make things worse, the security guard is waiting on the left side of Shion. Oh, guess it's down in the same corridor. And he's already out of the corridor because of the alarm. Yeah, he would be heading towards the alarm said to go towards the entrance hall thing. Yeah, Shion had to regret letting her guard down just a bit too early. The mountain dog jumped out and grabbed Shion. He choked her neck with his thick arm. There was no way Shion could get out of the situation alone. Does she still have the taser, perhaps, on her? But she might just be able to shock him with. Irie saw what had happened. Fortunately, their backs were turned towards him. Here was Irie's chance to attack the enemy. But today, Irie had lost a lot of confidence in himself. He felt he hadn't done anything right all day. Fighting wasn't his expertise, so there really wasn't anything he could have done, but he was disappointed in himself not being able to help just the same. But, in that moment, he was the only one who could do anything. If possible, he wanted to go get Kasai or Akasaka. They were both very reliable. They could take out this man in an instant. But there was no time for that. Only in this moment was his back facing Irie. If Irie didn't do anything, the dog was sure to take Shion hostage, creating a deadlock. Enemy backup could arrive at any moment, so being in a deadlock would mean death. Therefore, Irie couldn't depend on anyone else. He had to resolve the situation himself. He only had one chance. Once the unit member turned around, the deadlock would begin. But was there even a way for Irie to knock him down in one shot? No, he had to. He must. There had to be something that only Irie could do. Irie took a mechanical pencil out of his pocket. It's probably the strongest weapon he had. Surprise attacks don't work too well when you're shouting.
くそ、やってくれますね、所長。
Irie stabbed the man's neck with his mechanical pencil, but it only scratched him a little. What was he thinking? The man drew his gun, pressed it to Shion's head, and created a stalemate, just as Irie predicted.
ごめんなさい。私、サトシ君のことで頭がいっぱいだった。
Shion's eyes were filled with tears.
さて所長、月並みで恐縮ですが、他の侵入者ともども武装解除してもらいましょう。
Ah, but I mean, you can't exactly tell Akasaka to get rid of his arms and his legs, because those are basically weapons.
さっきのとんでもない音は相当でかい銃を持ち込んでますね。撃たれたらたまりませんので。
Come on, Irie. Remember Kasai from earlier. You can do it.
笑わせます。この入江機関の、そして研究区画で、この入江京介に取引などできるつもりですか？
何？
これは高野さんの開発したシャーペン型の偽装注射器です。薬物については説明が必要ですか？
Oops.
なんだと？
If a regular person had said that, it wouldn't have worked. I mean, I was half expecting it to be that the other man didn't actually see that it was a mechanical pencil and just felt the prick at his neck, and he could just say, ah, Well, I already injected you, so... Irie was wearing his white coat. The basement was his territory. What he just said sounded very believable. He wanted to believe that Irie was lying. But he started to feel an itch on the back of his neck. Yeah.
H178 は高野さんが生み出した170番台の最高傑作です。いかなる治療手段もなく、わずか数分で錯乱、妄想、頭痛、鼻水、鼻詰まり、お通じの普通、数々の激症を引き起こし、最後には自らの爪でお尻をかき破って死んでしまいます。
I can't help but feel that no treatment, saying that there's no treatment feels like it should backfire at least, and make the man want to at least take down Irie with him. Saying that like it's a treatment, and if you let her go, I might be willing to help you. But maybe.
治療法はただ一つ。1分以内この解毒剤のお注射を受けることのみです。
When there is a treatment.
嘘だ。そんなのあるはずねえ。
すでに30秒経過ですね。そろそろ心臓を経由して全身に回り始めてくる頃です。全身のリンパ腺にかゆみは出ませんか？寝るときにいびきやおならが出ませんか
Shion could only watch his pathetic act in silence. For the mountain dog, who worked at such a shady research center, what Irie said sounded totally believable.
くそ！わかった。降参する。早くその治療薬を打ってくれ。
はて、言葉遣いがなっていませんね。
わかりました。降参します。早く注射をしてください。
ダメですね。ご主人様への言葉遣いがなっていません。
Not gonna say you should like handcuff yourself.
一度だけ指導しましょう。いいですか？この注射はお尻に注射しなくてはなりません。まず四つん這いになってズボンをずらし、お尻を出します。その際お尻は突き出すようにし、両肩はぺったり床につけるようにします。右手の親指の爪を噛みながら振り返り、そうそう。そしてあなたはご主人様、この私めにお注射をくださいませと哀願するのです。言えませんか？嘆かわしい。そもそも古代メイドはご主人様への絶対忠誠を誓い、滅私暴行によって美徳と文化を築き上げてきたのです。
If it took 30 seconds to go through that, I'm pretty sure another 30 seconds is fast already.
そんな素晴らしい社会を作ったのに、近年の日本はどうですか？メイドの心を忘れた若者はガングロ、ルーズソックス、派手派手なハワイ装束。大和なでしこが情けない。お肌をスレスレにお手入れして過剰な日焼けには要注意。ソックスはもちろんニーソです。黒のストッキングも素晴らしい。いや、でもたまにはハイソックスも素敵です。そして培われるメイドの心。思えば日本はわびさびとメイドを忘れました。その結果がこの低出産率、超高齢化社会。
I'm just face palming right now.
今や熟年人口は増え続け、萌えメディアもその層をターゲットにするのは時間の問題。やがてはストライクゾーン春が真上とされてきたおばさんにもスポットライトが浴びせられ、いつしかそれが主流にすらなってゆく。おばさんとメイドの組み合わせはまさにトイレ用洗剤、混ぜるな危険。それを混ぜるとなぜかメイドでなく家政婦さんになり、急にトレンディードラマから昼ドラっぽくなっちゃうのです。それはつまりメイドの絶滅。その時月は砕け、悲しみの雨を地上に降らし、地球をアステロイドベルトが覆う。 それこそが予言書に記された最後の審判の日。全世界を偉大なるメイドカチューシャが覆いしとき、真のメイド世界が開かれる。そうだ、そうそう、頭が高い、ひざまずく。メイドの魂よ、ここに集うのだ。Come on, my castle in the maid kingdom.
What did I just listen to?
Maid in heaven.
大丈夫かい？
ええ、ありがとうです。
Dear.
監督、
Also, did you just spell like Made in Heaven as in like M-A-I-D or M-A-D?
赤坂さんたち来てやっつけてくれましたよ。
なんですって？まだメイド教育が終わっていないというのに。
Another time, maybe.
先生、そいつは後ほどに。
サトシ君。
There really was nobody left to stop her. Shion ran down the hallway at full speed. It was right there. There was a huge window in front of Shion that allowed her to look inside. Shion threw herself at the window. Satoshi was there, lying on the bed. He was sleeping with an IV connected to his arm. There were some wires attached to his forehead and chest to observe his brainwaves. The waves of light displayed on the machine they connected to proved that he was at least still alive, but he might be sleeping very deeply. His face was pale, and he looked like there was barely any life left in him.
生きてるんだよね。サトシ君、生きてるんだよね。
落ち着いてください。入江先生、早く彼を。
Irie brought in a stretcher to load Satoshi onto. Kasai opened it up.
早くサトシ君を、サトシ君を。
シオンさん、彼を出す前に一つだけどうしても約束してほしいことがあります。
Irie gave Shion a condition. What is he saying now? Shion angrily thought.
今から彼を担架に移しますが、決して起こそうとしてはいけません。いいですね。絶対約束してください。
どうして起こしちゃいけないんですか？
Because he's still recovering? That was the first thing Shion wanted to do. She wanted to tell him personally that he was free. But Irie was telling her that she couldn't do that.
辛いことですが、真実だけを手短に話します。サトシ君はあの日、末期発症により脳と心に深刻なダメージを受けました。幸いなことに命に異常はありませんが、サトシ君には目に入るものの敵味方、真実と虚構の区別がつかないのです。過度の被害妄想と恐怖に取りつかれ、それから逃れるために急須が猫を噛むように、目の前にいるのが誰であろうと襲いかかります。昨年、不用心なスタッフが整形手術を必要とするほどの大怪我をしました。彼はたとえあなたであっても例外としません。
Shion finally noticed it. While Satoshi was covered in a blanket on the bed, there were two belts over that blanket, holding him down on the bed. But he also had leather straps around his arms. He was restrained to the bed. The belts had some marks on them.
そんな、それって治るんですか？
The silence that followed was cruel. Irie wanted to tell her that he would be cured, but he was a doctor. He knew he shouldn't say anything irresponsible, and so that was why he couldn't say anything.
何それ？ 何それ。じゃあ何。サトシ君はもうって言ってくれないの？
No, but he can't say with certainty that he will be fine.
私の頭を撫でてくれないの？なんで？
Shion cried as she pounded on the
い
glass.
けません。彼のことをどうか彼を起こさないでください。それはきっと彼が望むことでもあるのです。起こせばそのサトシ君の姿はあなたを必ず傷つけます。そしてサトシ君もその姿をあなたに見せたいとは思わないはずです。ですから分かってください。
そんな。
Maybe it was a mistake to bring her to the facility. Though, I guess I need an extra set of hands to help wheel him away. Shion slid down the window and hit the floor, crying uncontrollably. She scratched at the floor. A sad reunion and her anger made her claw up the tiles. Satoshi smile was there under the floor. Shion had scratched until all her nails were gone. But Satoshi wasn't under the floors. He was right there. He was sleeping on the bed. And he wasn't supposed to be woken up.
ですが、決して悪い話だけではないのです。微弱ですが、この1年、脳波の傾向に回復の兆しが見られるんです。人間の体は弱くありません。たくましいんです。それは脳も同じです。
Especially for young people.
脳に致命的損傷を負った人が奇跡的に回復を遂げたという報告は世界中にあります。
In young people, yes. In older people, like they recovered, but it's like compensating. Not a full recovery, but like a partial recovery. For example, one like rail worker had like a spike basically go through his skull, and afterwards, I think I've actually mentioned this earlier in the series, but afterwards, like was much more aggressive and stuff like that. Meanwhile, a younger person, it's like they're going to be able to compensate with other regions of the brain more.
サトシ君は帰ってこようとしています。必死に戦っています。
Like adult brains are still plastic, but they're not like the super plastic of younger brains.
そして私も負けない。帰ろうと戦うサトシ君をこちら側に連れ戻そうと、私は今後も研究を続けます。そして必ずサトシ君をひなみ沢に連れて帰ってみせます。
The brain is what moves people. The brain is only a part of a body. If something happens to the brain, the person will end up changing. That change hurts the person himself, as well as the people around him. And hurting others hurts that person even more. Irie recalled his parents. The abnormal change in his father, his mother was not able to understand that it was caused by a brain disorder. That was enough. That was sad enough. That was the reason why Irie became a neurologist. Right now, there was a young boy before him, and a young girl. Before him was a fragment of the sadness from that day, a fragment of that day's regret. After his father's death, Irie learned that he was misunderstood, and that it was due to a brain disorder. But it was all too late by then. He regretted not getting into the study of brains 5 years earlier, but it was too late. But now he had studied and experienced so much. He had achieved things, and he had confidence. But he still had regrets about that day. Irie held his fist tightly and spoke without hiding his tears.
絶対です。命を懸けてもいい。私は絶対にサトシ君をひなみ沢へ連れ帰ります。この入江京介が絶対というのです。そしてサトシ君も帰ってこようとしている。互いが手を伸ばし合って届かぬわけがない。だからシオンさん、私を信じてその日まで待ってください。絶対この入江京介が彼を連れ帰ります。
Irie vowed this from the bottom of his heart, and he realized something. Irie realized that everything he had done was in preparation for this day. The two people in front of him weren't his parents, but he was going to rid himself of his regrets and devote himself to that promise.
本当に本当ですね。サトシ君、帰ってくるんですね。本当に。
絶対です。私の人生のすべてを捧げてでも彼をひなみ沢へ連れ帰ります。だからシオンさん、その日を信じて私と待ちましょう。そしてきっと私たちで彼を迎えてあげましょう。その日まで待てますか？この悲しい事実をさとこちゃんに内緒にできますか？
はい。サトシ君、帰ってくるなら何でも我慢します。
What happened to not saying anything irresponsible? If he was going to say that, he might as well have said it earlier. Oh well.
あれを見てください。
The teddy. There was something in the corner of that dark room. It was the giant teddy bear that Satoshi had bought that day.
彼がさとこちゃんの誕生日のために一生懸命に働いて貯めたお金で買ったものです。あれをサトシ君がさとこちゃんに渡さないでこの世を去るなんて考えられますか？考えられないでしょう。サトシ君は必ずあのぬいぐるみと一緒にあなたとさとこちゃんのところへ帰ってきます。どうかその日まで我慢をしてください。
お見舞いに来てもいいです。
もちろんです。
Do you want one again?
お見舞いに来てもいいですか？彼の脇に座ったり本を読んであげたりしてもいいですか？それから
いいですよ。きっと彼も喜ぶでしょう。
Shion started to cry again. Akasaka came in with Tomitake, but he couldn't say anything to her.
無事でよかったです。あなたに番犬を呼んでもらえれば全ては解決できます。
実はそうもいかないのです。さっきの保安室の銃撃戦で無線装置が壊れたようなのです。山犬は非常時対応で村全体の通信手段を遮断しているでしょうから、ここの無線装置が損傷した以上、東京へ連絡をするには村を脱出するほかないんです。
となれば車で強行突破するしかないでしょう。 ミオンさんたちもよく時間を稼いでくれています。しかし籠城ですから、やがては追い詰められるでしょう。
Well, I'm pretty sure the way that this is going to go is Tomotake's is going to leave, perhaps with Kasai. You know, Akasaka is definitely going to go and help Mion-san and the others. And in the middle of that, we'll have his rematch against Okunogi. So, in any case, I will be ending it here for today. I hope you all enjoyed. Let me know any feedback you have in the comments. And until next time, see ya!